Mike Westphal here at McDonald Garden Center, and today I'm going to show you something really exciting. We raise bees here at the Garden Center, and we sell the honey actually at our garden centers in Virginia Beach. And so I'm going to take you through the hive real quick and show you kind of the different boxes, and then we're going to actually harvest some honey. So come with me, this is going to be really fun. Today I'm going to show you something really cool and something really different. We're actually going to harvest some honey from our McDonald Garden Center bees. We've got some beehives. One of our IT people, our IT professional, is amazing with bees and pollinators, and she helps us out so much. And so she just kind of gave me a crash course. So I don't know everything, but I know a good amount of information. And I want to take you through the hive just to kind of show you what it does. And then we're going to take a part of the honeycomb and go and harvest the honey out of it. So it's going to be really, really exciting. So we're going to open this up so you can see all the bees in action, and I can show you exactly what's happening on the inside. And it's a really, really cool thing. So we're going to take the top off here. We'll just put this off to the side. And so this is the honey box. So the honey box sits on top. The bottom box is the brood box, and the bottom box is where all the babies are laid, the eggs are laid, and the queen is down there. And then the top is your honey box, and this is where they're producing the excess honey. So the bottom, of course, is the feed, and then the top is just the excess honey, and that's what we're gonna harvest, is the excess that they don't need. So I wanna take you through some of these frames and just kind of show them to you and show you how cool these really are. And so we'll just kind of gently pull these out. And you can see all the bees, and they are just working. Now these bees, I've been harvesting this honey from black locust and tulip poplar, and that's actually gonna change the color of the honey and the taste of the honey when we go to harvest it. So you're gonna see that when we go to harvest it, you'll see the different types and the different colors that you'll get dependent on what the bees are getting nectar from. So it's a really, really cool thing. This one's a little bit of a newer one, so you can see it's not quite full, but we'll go to the next one here. And I'll show you this one. This one's much bigger, and this one is pretty much there, and I think this is going to be the one that we're going to actually harvest. So you can see how big this is. You can see how many bees are on there, and you can see it's all full of honey, just dripping with honey. So this is ready to roll. This one is going to be the one that we're going to take. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one down in this box. That'll help us transport it over to where we're going to extract the honey. So we'll go do that in a minute, but I want to take you through the rest of the beehive and really show you. So again, this is the honey box, this is the top box, and this one is, again, designed to kind of hold their excess honey. We'll take this off gently and set this off to the side. All right, so now we're down in the brood box, and this is where all the action happens. So this is the really, really cool part. So I'm going to take you through some of these frames. The queen is down here, so you're going to see the bees are going to get a little bit more active, because they all want to visit the queen, they all want to see the queen. And we'll just go through some of these frames here and show you kind of what's happening down here in the bottom. And this is the brood box, this is where all the babies are. So you're going to see in here lots of different types of bees. You're going to see the worker bees, you're going to see the male bees, and then we're going to find the queen too, so you can see the queen. So that one's a little bit of a younger one there, but you can see here, look, see these capped cells here? That's where the babies are actually laid, and they've been capped, and they'll hatch pretty soon. So we got a new bunch of bees coming there. Let's pull this next one out. I think the queen's somewhere in the first 2 to 3 frames here. So there's a little bit. You can see it's not quite as full. They're still building it out. Be very, very gentle. We're just going to take our time here. We don't want to upset anybody. All right, so here's another frame here. Let's turn this one around. Let's see if the queen was in here. So let's see if we can find the queen. I don't know if you can quite see it from where you're looking at, but there she is. So let's see if I can get that a little bit closer so you can see. She's got a yellow dot on her. Really cool. So now she lays up to 3,000 eggs a day. That is just insane. And she'll do that pretty much all spring and summer. And then of course she'll slow down as we get into the fall and winter time frame. But this is really active. This is a really cool scene to see. This is my first time being up front and personal with these bees. And you can just see how harmless they really are. All right, so now we're getting really close to harvesting the honey. Now we're not gonna use the term extraction because extraction involves machinery and spinning and all these different things. And this is 100% pure honey, local Hampton Roads honey. And I wanna show you these things real quick. This is actually a cut comb honey, so you can see that. We'll actually have some of this at the garden center. And that is just pure honey in the comb. Then we also do just the 100% pure liquid with a little bit of the comb in it. And then we also do just the straight liquid honey. And so you can see actually the different colors, which I think is really cool to know that in different areas and in different regions across the country, you'll get different colors of honey dependent on the area and dependent on the flowers and the different types of plants that they're getting nectar from. And so having local honey is great because you're getting that local source, you're using the pollinators that are locally in our area, and they're getting the pollen from those local plants. So it's a great thing to do this here in Hampton Roads, and you can get exclusively this honey at McDonald Garden Center. But I'm gonna show you how we harvest the honey in two different ways. There's actually two different ways that we can do this, and one is to actually keep the midrib. So I'll show you an example of what that will look like at the end. Let me grab that for you. And this is actually one that we've done a couple days ago, and you can see the midrib is still in there. So this allows them to rebuild off of this. But that's what we're gonna try and accomplish, is to allow them to have that midrib to rebuild from. But it doesn't have to be that way, and we're gonna show you a second way to do it too. But this is one way, and what we're gonna use is a shovel. This is basically the shovel with a little serrated edge. And we're just gonna scoop and try and keep some of that midrib in there. So we're just gonna be real gentle, try not to touch any honey. You can see all the honey coming out. We're just not gonna go too deep. We can always go back in and get more later. And I've got this great little setup here where all you have to do is just put it on this, basically this straining. We're trying to do all gravity fed. You can see all the liquid honey there. And so what gravity fed means is we're not gonna mess with it too much. We'll slice it up just to break up some of the cells, and we'll allow the honey to drip down into this container below. And then we'll go through a final process of getting it strained. All right, so that's how we're gonna do this one. So I'll finish this one up, and then we'll get started on the next one. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so now I'm gonna show you the second way that you can harvest the honey. And this is actually we're gonna take this one that was pulled a couple days ago. It's really, really nice. You can see and those are a lot of the capped areas, so you can really see it on this side. See all the capped, I'll explain that here in a second. But this one is ready to be harvested as well. And so I'm gonna show you a different method. Rather than scooping like I did before, I'm gonna show you how to cut it, and that way you can do the gravity-fed ability to get the honey out of the comb. So before I get started on that, I do wanna tell you what's really cool is in the previous method, we kept that midrib, which helps them rebuild a little bit faster. But the good news is our beekeeper is amazing, and she actually will take the wax, and we can make a lot of things out of wax, like beeswax, candles, and different things, lip balm. But she actually will take it and press it back into a mold and make another midrib. So it's a great way of repurposing. We don't lose anything here. We're completely using the honey that they have made excess of. So this is not taking anything away from the bees. All right, so the only thing I'm gonna do here is just cut fairly close to the frame. And we're just gonna slowly but surely cut through this, and you'll start to see some of the honey coming out. And that's because we're breaking through some of the cells. Take my time here. In this one, I'm trying to get some of the cut comb. So I'm trying to really make sure that I'm very careful to keep some of that. So we'll put this off to the side. Now in these capped areas, so the reason that the bees cap their honey is to store it for use in the winter time. So what that means is that this honey has been ripened. It's completely what they're ready to kind of save and preserve for the winter time frame as their food source. Again, this is their excess honey, so they don't need it. That's why we're harvesting it. But those capped cells are really cool because if we cut it correctly, we can get these really nice blocks of the cut comb honey. So that's what I'm gonna do first, is just go through. I want about 4 inches of it. So we'll cut right there. And we'll just kind of make sure that we got all the way through. And then we'll cut this way. And that way we've got this nice piece of cut comb honey. So this we can actually package, and you've got the whole wax and the honey in there. Now, what we'll do with the rest of it is we'll slice it up. So I'll show you an example of that with a smaller piece. This one actually, there's more pollen in this section. They typically store more pollen in the bottom, but this we're just gonna cut up just basically to break up the cells, and you'll start to see the honey start to be gravity fed through there. So this is just kind of releasing the honey, and that'll help it drip down into the container below. And we're just basically slicing it up, trying to not let too much honey or too much wax go down through the strain, through the grate. So really all that's doing is just breaking up the cells, and then you can start to see all that honey drip out. So this is a really cool one. We'll finish up this one. We'll have a lot of honey to harvest, and we'll continue to do this. And this is just a really, really cool thing that we can do here at McDonald Garden Center for our customers to come and shop and get all the different types of honey. We don't treat anything with our bees. It's completely 100% pure honey, and it's awesome. All right, so we're gonna finish harvesting all of this honey. It's gonna be awesome, and we're gonna have it at McDonald Garden Center, depending on the season and depending on the year. But this is something that our beekeeper does year-round. It's an amazing thing to help out our pollinators, and we always want to encourage to help out our pollinators. This is a little bit of honey here that I harvest straight from the comb. I'm actually going to taste it. That is very, very good. So that is really, really yummy. That is super, super sweet, and it's from locally sourced bees, and that's what's really, really cool. What I do want to tell you real quick, which I thought was very, very interesting, a half a teaspoon of honey is produced by one bee. So that means we've really got to support our bees, make them work less hard by planting more flowers for them. Come in and check us out at McDonald Garden Center any time of the year. We can help you help our pollinators locally.